Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Okay, so don't forget Unit 3 test part 2 is on Friday. We're going to take part 2 on Friday. So it's very important that that test is completed by 5 p.m. on Friday. And we're going to continue with inequalities and graphs today. We're going to kind of work backwards though from what we did yesterday. So let's take a look. Let's go over to Canvas. Let's go to our modules page. Don't forget to do your attendance check-in. Go to the bottom of the page after that. So yesterday we graphed inequalities. So we're given an inequality and we learned how to graph it, how to shade above or below the line, decide if it's a solid or dashed line. That's the two most important things really. And then that is like graphing an equation, which Desmos will graph an equation for us, but it won't graph the inequality. But today what we're going to do is we're just going to practice kind of working backwards. We don't have any notes to put in today, but you're going to click here and you're going to open this Cami file up. And the easiest thing for you to do today might be to type. And I'm going to show you how to type using the math editor on Cami. I think you might like that if you haven't already discovered it. So I'm going to work two examples with you here, and then you're going to practice. So we're going to follow these steps right here. So the first thing we need to do is we need to look at our inequality, and our goal is to get the inequality written out. So it will say y is either greater than or less than, or greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, and we want it in mx plus b form. So that's our goal at the end, is to write the linear inequality. So the first thing you need to do, let's see, I'm going to use purple today, is you need to figure out what is your x-intercept. So you're going to look over here at the graph that you've been given. So we're given a graph and we want to come up with a linear inequality. My clock is dinging. Here we go. So we look over here. Where is this crossing on our graph here? Well, here's the origin. So 1, 2. So down 2. So our y-intercept has to be -2. That's important. Okay, so now we need to figure out our slope. So in order to do that, we need to rise and run. And this is why I like Cami, because I can give you something and you can actually like write on it. So we need to pick two good points. Well, our y-intercept's always a good point, so we could use that one. And I think they've given me my x-intercept too over here. So I'm just going to use those 2 points. They look like really good points. So I'm going to rise up and then I'm going to run over. So the trickiest part is going to be figuring out what your slope is. So remember, you have to rise and run. Okay. So let me change this a little bit thicker so we can get it better. So if I start at this point, how much do I rise up before I'm level with my other point? Well, 2, right? We went down 2 to get to our y-intercept. So we know we have to rise up 2. And now I need to figure out, well, how much do I run over? Well, I run over 1, 2, 3. The spaces, 3 spaces. Whoops. 3. So I rise 2 over 3. So my slope is, now here's the cool thing about Cami and math. If you want to type and you click this F over here for formula, it'll type it in math for you. It'll type the fraction correctly for you. So my slope is 2 over 3. Rise up 2, run 3. And I want to check and make sure this is a positive slope, right? Do I need to make it negative? Because from left to right over here, it's increasing. So it's definitely a positive slope. So positive 2 over 3. So now we need to decide, well, what's our inequality symbol that we need to type? And again, if I click this F and then you click the little pi thing, it brings up all your symbols here. So it's going to be one of these symbols. So which one is it? That's what we need to decide. Well, are we shading above or below? So let's make some notes over here on the side. Well, I can see that it's shaded below my line. So remember, that's going to have to be less than or equal to. And then I can also see that it's a broken line. So if you need to, you might want to, and let me come over here and pull up my journal like we learned in yesterday's video. This will be very helpful if you come over here and if you look at your notes from yesterday. Let me zoom in. So notice that if we are given it's shaded below and broken line, okay, so we know it's shaded below, it has to be one of these, and it's a broken line, so it has to be one of these. So which one is it? If it's a broken line, It can't have the line under it. So it's a broken line, and then we see that it's shaded below, so it must be the less than. So there's your symbol right there. So broken line and shaded below. So our inequality symbol, again, if you click over here, you're going to have to click this to get your symbol, or you can actually write the symbol in if you want to. It's your choice. You click the pi. Well, it's shaded below, so that's got to be less than, and it even tells you the name of the symbol, see, if you mouse over them. So less than or equal to, and it can't have the line under it because it's a broken line. So now we can come over here and we can actually write our inequality. Now you can write this with the drawing tool if you want, or we can use our math stuff over here. Click F. So it's y, then I click the little pi symbol. We know our symbol is less than, and then I'm just going to type the rest of my pieces over here. I know it's 2/3 x minus 2. Those are the other pieces that we found. But you're just looking, you're going to use these 3 pieces to write your inequality every time. Okay, so let's look at another example. So let me go back to my drawing tool. I'm going to try to find 2 good points. Let's see. Sometimes this is a good point right here. Sometimes finding your good points is the trickiest bit. Where is another good point to find? I want one that's just really, really clearly labeled. You know what? I think it's going to be this one right here. Even though it's at the tip of the arrow, I think that's going to be the best one. So we want our rise over our run. So how much do I rise up? 1, 2 squares, 3 squares. So I'm rising up 3 squares. Okay, now let me do my run. So from this over here, how far do I run? 1 square, 2 squares, 3 squares, 4 squares. So I'm running 4 squares. Whoops, my mouse is messing up. Okay, so I know my slope is 3/4. Rise over run, 3/4. Now, I need to check, is this a positive or negative slope? That's the one piece we have to be careful with. Well, I start here, and my slope is definitely increasing. So it is a positive slope. I'm going to hit the little math button again so that it'll make my fraction really nice and pretty. But if you type it with just the slash, that's fine too. So my slope is 3/4. So what's my y-intercept? Where am I crossing the y-axis? Well, right here at this point. How far do I go up? 1. So my y-intercept must be 1. So which inequality symbol am I going to use? That's important. Well, let's make our notes over here. Okay, well, I can definitely see it's a solid line. So I know my symbol has to have a line under it. And it's shaded above. Shaded above my line on top of it. Whereas this one down here was shaded below. So if it's shaded above your line, well, that should be an inequality symbol that is, I'm just going to write this one in. So we know our symbol has a line under it. So that's important. We can go ahead and write that line. And it's shaded above, so it's got to be greater than. So there's my symbol, greater than or equal to. So now all I need to do is finish writing my inequality. Well, I'm going to start with y. Then I always put my symbol. And since I'm trying to write it in the form y and my symbol mx plus b. So keep that in mind. That's the form we're writing them in. Remember, your slope always goes in front of your x. Well, for me, the slope for this one is 3/4. X, and again, it may be quicker for you to type this if you want. That's fine. X plus, what's my b value? B value is your y-intercept. It's 1. So there, we've just written 2 inequalities by just figuring out the pieces. So these pieces are key. The symbol may be the trickiest one, but go back and refer to your notes from yesterday because you should have drug these over into your notes. So it's going to tell you whether or not you need to have a solid line, broken line, above or below. So remember, if it's shaded below, it's less than. If it's shaded above, it's greater than. The line underneath the symbol depends on the line on your graph. Is it solid or broken? So you have some other examples to work through here. So try to practice these and make sure you get this submitted. I'm going to take a grade on this one and the one from yesterday as well. But But yeah, that's it. So it's figuring out these key pieces. So if you need some help, be sure and send me an email so we can figure out a time we can video conference and go over some together.